arrested. The U.S. Marshals should march in and haul them off.
At gunpoint. Here you go. You're under arrest. You've defied a warrant from Congress. You're under arrest.
We said the same thing with the NFL player to hit the quarterback in the head with the helmet. We said that right then and there, they should have walked in off the sideline, put handcuffs on, and walked him back, okay? Now, you're going to say, what's the relationship between the two? Here's the relationship. As far as I'm concerned, when you stiff the procedures for this impeachment initiated by the Congress, that's as much a blow to democracy as it was on the NFL quarterback's head.
Yeah.
It's egregious, and probably it dwarfs what happened to the NFL quarterback, but it's a good symbolism, and the way it should have been handled is exactly the same. They should take Bolton and all of these panty-waist Republicans and arrest them. You are putting a finger in our government's procedure that has been written and been honored previously. How many people were subpoenaed in the Clinton hearings for impeachment that said to hell with it? We're just not going to do it. Was there any?
I would have to do some research on that.
What I found was there were none. They wouldn't dare.
Or we could just go right to the Obama administration and tell you exactly how many people were under indictment, were arrested, or were sentenced to prison. And the number is 0. Yes, we're critics of Obama. Obama used drones to bomb a lot of brown people overseas. That is a fact.
But there's no comparison when it comes down to these hearings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you talked about the circle of people indicted, arrested. Roger Rabbit Stone here just last week, right? Add it to the list, the ever-growing list of corruption, of flat-out corruption. Anyway, I give my heartfelt congratulations to Fiona Hill. In case people are the least bit confused about what's really going on, what's really at the heart of this impeachment hearing, listen to her comments yesterday. Well-spoken, and I'm telling you, that English accent knocks me out, Darren. There's something authoritative about it.
Speaking of authoritative, I got to go to this story here. This is by Dan DeLuce, Laura Strickler, and Ari Sen writing for NBC News. This is dated November 18th out of Washington. Senior Trump administration official Mina Chang resigned from her job at the State Department 2.5 hours after NBC News went to her spokesperson to ask about her newly discovered false claims she had made about her charity work. Gee, let me stop for a second. So Trump's got a bunch of liars working for him, I guess. Let me continue.
Yeah.
NBC News has previously reported that Chang, the Deputy Assistant Secretary in the State Department's Bureau of Conflict and Stability Operations, had embellished her resume with misleading claims about her educational achievements and the scope of her nonprofit's work, even posting a fake cover of Time magazine with her face on it. In her resignation letter to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Chang wrote, quote, "It is essential that my resignation be seen as a protest and not as surrender, because I will not surrender my commitment to serve, my fidelity to the truth, or my love of country. Indeed, I intend to fight for those things as a citizen in the days and years to come." End of quote. Now, wait a minute. Her fidelity to the truth? She wouldn't know what the truth was if it jumped up and bit her in the ass. Let me continue. Chang said she has been unfairly maligned, unprotected by my superiors, and exposed to a media with an insatiable desire for gossip and scandal, genuine or otherwise. That's a direct quote, folks. Chang's resignation was first reported by Politico. NBC News had reported that Chang, who assumed her post in April, invented a role on the United Nations panel claiming she had addressed both the Democratic and the Republican National Conventions and implied that she had testified before Congress. She was being considered for an even bigger government job, one with a budget of more than $1 billion, until Congress started asking questions about her resume. The newly discovered false claims include misrepresenting a trip to Afghanistan as a humanitarian mission, listing an academic who says he never worked for her nonprofit as an employee, claiming a non-existent degree from the University of Hawaii, inflating an award, and claiming to be an ambassador for the United Nations Cultural Agency, UNESCO. Where does this stop with her?
We don't like liars on the show. We don't care what political persuasion they have. We don't like Prince Andrew lying about his participation in the Lolita Express. We don't like the fact that now it's been proven Lizzie Warren has been caught lying again, this time about being fired from her teaching post. She said she was fired because she was pregnant. That now has all gone up in smoke. We don't like liars. We don't care who they are, and we're here to expose them. I hope I hope the truth comes out on Andrew like
Prince
never
Andrew.
Before. Seriously. You know, my son's name is Andrew Prince.
Mm-hmm.
No relation.
Yeah.
But see, I have a lot of weird connections. You know, a lot of people think I'm one of the princes because here in West Michigan, the Prince family is a wealthy. I'm anything but that. But they go, yeah. Prince, you related to Eric Prince? No, I'm not. I really am not. And, of course, my name, Prince Albert, in a can was a long-time joke. So I used to have a lot of troubles.
Let him out.
Yeah. So they changed my name from Albert to Jack, which is the most prostituted name in the English language. If you've never noticed, Jack is used for anything. I'll jack your jaw, right? I don't give a jack. Jackass. I made a list one time in high school. It goes out. Of course, the most discriminating one is for masturbation.
The one you can't use on the air.
But don't tell me that's used extra. I mean, Jack is the most commonly used name. You have no idea how many times it's used in monikers that are not too flattering. So we're way off the mark. But my birthday's not far away, and by God, I'm gonna start complaining about it. 7 years of age.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done with it.
I don't blame you. Oh, my gosh. Let me continue real quick. Chang had portrayed the 2015 trip to Afghanistan as a humanitarian mission for her nonprofit. But a defense contractor footed the bill and no aid was delivered. That according to documents from the company and a former employee. After the Afghanistan trip, Chang posted videos of herself meeting a group of Afghan women in a room. In a video posted on her charity's website, she refers to the photo and says the Afghan women are in hiding at a secret location. According to this video, posted again to her nonprofit's website, she said, quote, "This is in Afghanistan. I am sitting with women in our program. They are living in hiding. I can only say they are right outside of the Kabul area." End of quote. But the women were not part of any program run by her charity, Linking the World. They were wives of local employees of the defense contractor that paid for her trip. That company, Automotive Management Services. By the way, the women were not in hiding. The former employees said of Chang's trip to Afghanistan and a second trip to Iraq, quote, "They were photo ops." End of quote.
Folks, you're looking at the Trump Zoo.
I'm just going to stop there because it goes on.
Yeah, but the Trump Zoo is filled with lions and cheetahs.
Well, speaking of lying, did you hear this latest good one here? This is Calvin Woodard writing for the Associated Press. This is dated Wednesday, November 20th out of Washington. Donald Trump tried to take credit Wednesday for opening a plant that's been in business for years. He also tried to blame House Speaker Nancy Pelosi for closing Congress, but she didn't. Here's what Trump tweeted early Wednesday evening. Quote, "Today I opened a major Apple manufacturing plant in Texas that will bring high-paying jobs back to America. Today Nancy Pelosi closed Congress because she doesn't care about American workers." End of quote. The facts, neither happened. Trump visited a factory in Austin, Texas that has made the Mac Pro for Apple since 2013. Apple announced in September that it would continue having the Mac Pro line made in Austin after the Trump administration agreed to waive tariffs on certain computer parts from China. It also plans to expand its already deeply rooted business in Austin and said Wednesday it has started construction of its new campus in the city. None of that equates to Trump's false claim to have opened an Apple plant Wednesday. Meantime, the House conducted business Wednesday, passing legislation supporting Hong Kong protesters and his impeachment hearings continued into the evening after Trump falsely said Pelosi shut Congress. More business was announced for Congress on Thursday before it breaks for Thanksgiving week. I'll just be blunt. The whole Trump administration is filled with liars.
And cheaters. No, here's the thing.
Yeah.
When you get one of these exposed like this, the recovery rate that Trump has, it's not even a BB off his back. When is it going to take a toll? These would have been fatal for any administration, but the guy seems to be absolutely Teflon. We think Reagan was Teflon.
Yeah.
Do Americans give a damn?
No. Well, there's some that do.
Is there enough to do?
No. Not enough to make a difference.
There's a protest scheduled at the Deltaplex next week.
Yeah.
Speaking of a gathering of morons, there's going to be a rally right here in good old West Michigan, Republican west side of the state.
Yeah.
For Donald Trump.
Lovely.
And you should go and take a look and see this genre, this species.
If you want to get a good up-close look at maggots, MAGA, M-A-G-A, they're maggots, just go to the Deltaplex. You'll get a good dose of them.
Exactly.
And by the way...
No, listen, people are attracted to really dangerous animals. I've seen on Facebook the 10 most dangerous animals in the world, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to go to the zoo. Just drive over the Deltaplex. It's just one block east of, I think that's Alpine, right?
Yep.
You can't miss it. And look at them.
Yep.
They're gathered together. And when you sweep the floor, you got a little cat turd in the corner over there. You got some slobber and some dirt here and there. You put it all together to get rid of it.
Oh.
Better hold me back. I'm not in a good mood because of what I know we're headed for, and I can't wait. It's Christmas. The divulgence.
We're not at Christmas yet. Don't get us that far.
Of one of our long-time enemies at this show. So, Darren, how long?
We still got a little bit left.
Right.
I want to touch on. We've talked about the impeachment. I want to touch on the debate. I didn't watch it because, one, I don't get an MSNBC, and two, my mind's made up. I'm voting for Bernie. That's all there is to it. Nothing's going to change my mind. Don't even bother trying.
Yeah. Hey, how could you vote for anybody else?
Yeah. Well,
I guess we're on our way.
Then there's Pete Buttigieg, who decided to start slurring Tulsi Gabbard.
Well, she actually threw the first salvo, rightfully so, because he made a claim, just like Trump, that he'd be willing to send troops down into Mexico to fight the drug cartel. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's red meat to the moderate base and that's all that is. Mm-hmm. And Tulsi called him on it. Tulsi said, "Wait a second, that's extreme." So what did he do?
Yeah,
you should look at Jimmy Dore, his account of this. He turns around and makes it sound, he gaslighted the whole audience by saying, "Well, Tulsi, I didn't, even suggest invading Mexico, which is nowhere near what she said." Mm-hmm. Tulsi is good at kicking the establishment right in the soft spot. She is great at it. There's some things you don't necessarily agree with Tulsi on. Yeah. Man, when she pulls the gloves off to go after the establishment, go get them.
Yep, that's great. And speaking of which, this was just posted before we went on air. This is by C.J. Palacroniou, writing for Truth Out. This is dated Thursday, November 21st. As the 2020 election race heats up, U.S. politics, the nation's political culture as a whole, and even the future of organized human life are at a crossroads. Another 4 years of Donald Trump would deliver nightmarish blows to democracy and social rights, handing an unthinkable mandate to a president who has become notorious for undermining virtually everything of decent value to humanity. Yet the question remains as to whether this dangerous man will actually be defeated in 2020. At the Democratic debate on Wednesday night, we witnessed a cacophony that did little to convey the ideological elements and political values that define the Democratic Party in the age of authoritarian neoliberalism and plutocracy. Intellectual shallowness and opportunism were prevalent throughout the debate. Pete Buttigieg's meager attempts to parry questions on his lack of support among black voters